Okay, so let's get down to business. Hello, and welcome back to ApocaPodcast, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic tabletop adventure. We are currently in the middle of our alpha test, and this is part 3 of Lost Treasures of the Apocalypse. Last time, our adventurers had made it to Torches, the continent's main trading hub. While they were there, they decided they needed to restock on ammunition and look for a apothecary, or, as is now canon, an ApocaPodcast. Pun intended. After meeting the pharmacist Thurlow Stoneclaw, the 3 adventurers split their separate ways. Today's episode focuses on what Ron the Barber does during his free time until the 3 of them meet up again tomorrow morning. The reason I wanted to meet with you, just you, was, if you recall, last session we had gone down into Thurlow Stoneclaw's apothecary, there we go.
You did it again.
In your transaction, you paid a little bit of your debt. You paid like 30 points towards your debt or something, and he made this big to-do, like, oh, wow, big spender, paying off your debt, because that was, in his opinion, not a large percentage of your debt. But
did it at least cover interest?
Yeah, maybe you've kept it from getting bigger by making a payment towards it. But during his conversation with you, he remembered, he was like, wait a minute, come by tomorrow. I might have something for you to help pay your debt down faster. And so that is all the information he gave you. And so this information this meeting that we're having, last session we ended, everybody went off to the 3 winds to do their own separate things. And so my working assumption is that next time we have a session, everyone will have done their individual shopping needs and will be meeting back together. And so this is an opportunity for you where your character is off on their own. You know that Thurlow said, hey, come on by. So you can totally just do nothing with that. You can go out and have the rest of your day, go shopping, have a grand old time, and not do anything with that. Or you can stop by, I'd probably say in the morning, and that will leave the rest of the day for whatever adventure follows. But that's up to you.
All right. Yeah, I think Barber Ron would very much be curious to see what could kind of alleviate this problem. First thing in the morning, he'll worry about John and Gray later. And, he'll step into the apothecary.
Yeah, so if you just stop by in the morning, he'll be open. Same deal. You wander through Torches, you find the patch, the little tiny hut that's kind of all by itself. And you can wander down the spiral staircase into the underground. So you will see Thurlow kind of talking with some customers at the desk, trying to finalize a sale. He doesn't really notice you're there, so you can wait, or you can poke around, or do whatever.
So yeah, he'll poke around, look at some price tags, and see if things have gotten more expensive since he was last there, and try to keep tally of how much he actually owes people, because I don't know if he's really given it much thought since last time he came here.
Yeah. So I would say that upon reflection, it's quite a lot. It's like
a lot of business.
This is.
Go ahead.
Think like mafia. Somebody's going to come break your legs if you don't make your payments, kind of deal.
Ooh, yeah. He had some business ventures that did not go well. At least one of those business ventures was in the gambling ring.
Mm.
He's not a good gambler.
He had that sure thing that just didn't pull through.
He had the beginner's luck, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that you reflect on that, and then Thurlow will kind of, thank his customers and kind of usher them out the door. And he'll just kind of sit and kind of clack his fingers and sniff the air and be like, "Hey, Ron, Ron, are you there?"
Hey, Thurlow. Yeah. Listen, you said for me to come here. Talking about trying to help kind of clear my debt with you, which I want to be square with you. So here I am. What did you have in mind?
I'm so glad that you stopped by. Just give me a minute. And he'll kind of waddle up to the front door, and he's going to flip over his closed sign so no new customers come in. He'll kind of lock it from the inside. It's not like you're dead bolted inside, just like a little something. And then he'll come back down and say, now that we have some privacy, I have some contacts. As a man of the people, I like to keep my ear to the ground. And someone reached out to me about procuring an item. Apparently, this is a very valuable and important item for this person. And if you and I were able to find this item for them, they might be able to pay us a pretty penny.
Okay.
Does that sound like something you might be interested in?
Yeah, I think that sounds right up my alley. I mean, I did go to appraisal school for about 5 years. I was great at it, or at least I thought I was. It turns out I wasn't as good at valuing stuff as I thought.
Yes, I remember that part of your career.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you changed to being a barber.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I need a haircut later.
Oh yeah. With everything you've done, I'll consider this one a freebie.
Anyway, we'll get to that later.
But anyhow, apologies. Jeez, I've not had my morning scorpion juice.
It's okay. You're nervous. It's okay. If I had that much debt, I'd be nervous too. But I don't. I own my small little shop. I do pretty well for myself. But I do pretty well by paying attention to the details. And the problem with this item is I don't know the details. I know that the buyer, I know they very much want this item, but I don't know why. The item in question is a small card, a small black card, about, I don't know, maybe 3 by 2 inches.
3 by 2 inches, a card.
A little rectangle with this symbol on it. And he grabs a piece of paper and a pen, and he draws the omega symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Capital Omega. And he goes, I know that they very much want this card, and I know it's a black card, but I don't know why they want it so much. And so if you see this card, definitely get it, for sure. But in order to improve our negotiating stance, it would be very helpful if you could also get us some information about the card, so that I could negotiate on our behalf.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm good at gathering info. That has been a very reliable skill of mine. So,
I would suspect it's some kind of ancient artifact, some kind of digital technology. Unfortunately, they didn't tell us much. Oh, all right, so I'll break character at that point. And that's the information. Feel free to ask any extra details you're looking for. But honestly, he doesn't know much more than that. He's got his people. He'll tell you that there are other people looking for this. So maybe don't be... Well, I mean, he'll let you decide how you want to proceed. But just with the knowledge that there are other people basically competing for this item. Because there's only one of them. So whoever gets it gets the prize.
All right. So I guess... Barber Ron will ask 2 questions. 1, who are going to be these typical competitors? Are they going to be mercenaries? Treasure hunters?
So he would, he'll probably say that there'll be one of 2 kinds. One will be kind of like the cheap, low-level gang members who basically you can put out a call and just kind of distribute this information through kind of like a little low-level spy network where it's just kind of like cheap thugs walking around looking for stuff. But the other one, which you would know about being familiar with the area, is actually the Scorpions.
Ah, the Scorpions themselves, okay.
Because while their primary purpose is while their primary purpose is being peacekeepers, when they're not being peacekeepers, they can basically just kind of do whatever they want. And so they kind of double as almost like hired help.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'll put things into perspective. I guess the only other question, and this wouldn't be to Thurlow, this would be just in general, kind of what a layman would know in this world is, so the fact that it is a 2x3 card, I'm assuming is unique. How prevalent is digital technology especially in a civilization like we are?
That's an excellent question. So it's not uncommon to find what I called ancient artifacts. Again, to put the timeline in perspective, the past is what you or I, the players, would call super futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
Then the apocalypse happened. Then there was some time between the apocalypse and now where most of the good technology was probably scavenged and used for survival. And so now it's not uncommon to find low-level technology, but to find anything that's like super valuable or interesting, that's kind of rare. And if you wanted to find that, you'd have to go to the radioactive north. Because the radiation kept people out of there, it's kind of been less scavenged than the rest of the world.
Right.
And so it's quite possible that you may have come across like maybe a key card, like a proximity key card or something like that, or a credit card type thing. But I can't say that you would have ever come across something that would be valuable. You know, you may have seen something like that before, but then just kind of like tossed it aside like a novelty, like a hotel key card.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, oh, this is fun. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So the fact that this is valuable to someone is a little interesting.
Yeah, I could imagine it being like you discover a microchip or a flash drive and you've never seen one before. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, unless you had the ability to interact with that item or some knowledge of like how it could be used, it's really not very useful. And so you could probably figure out on your own that if this was a piece of technology and somebody was interested in it, they probably also know how to use it. And they probably have a special purpose for it.
Right. So I think there's only one other question. Well, one question and one subsequently from it that Ron would ask Thurlow then. He would go, all right, so say I find this thing and I find what I need to about it and we think it's suitable to give this card to the buyers. How much does that help me?
That's an excellent question. Really, it comes down to leverage. I know it's valuable, but maybe I'd say right now it's probably like 1,000 torchy points valuable. You know, it's a good chunk of change, but I suspect it's worth more than that. And so the more information we can learn, the better I can negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking this could wipe out a big chunk of your debt. Maybe even all of it, if it's valuable enough. But I don't know. This is just a guess. They're being a little cryptic. They didn't tell me a lot, which makes me think they're hiding something.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This goes as according to plan. This could wipe my debt with you. We'd be square. And I could put this into something else. Maybe you come out of this on top. If you're interested in a couple ideas I have for another opportunity, I got you.
Let's focus on getting the card. Let's get the card first, and then we'll talk about the ideas, okay?
Okay.
How's
all
that
right.
sound?
Yep. You're right. One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. If you can find more information that shows us that this is valuable, then it is quite possible you might leave with a chunk of change in your pocket. And I'll be very willing to listen to whatever ideas you have at that point.
Sounds good.
He's thinking in the back of his mind, he's like, yep, I can get right back into this circle.
Thurlow, you sly mole fox, you.
Thurlow is much sassier than I originally planned him to be, and I love it. So yeah.
Right.
Anything else?
No, I think that the agenda's clear. I was gonna grab whatever they have for Java in the post-apocalyptic world and get himself energized for the day.
Thank you for listening. Next time we will find out what is going on with Gray and his vendetta against Apex. If you're enjoying this adventure, remember you can find it for free on our Patreon page. Patreon.com/easyasabc. While you're there, you can pick up a short 2-page cheat sheet of the rules and start running your own adventure. Thank you for listening. This is the ABC Game Master signing off. I'll see you next time.